Okay, so this is better. So just quick recap of what we covered here is I had this class called Employee Main. Again, this is all out there on the P drive, so you can download from there to take a look at it. And again, a class is a template. It's nothing we can use directly. We have verbs and we have nouns. The nouns are what are called instance variables. So I've got a private string name. That says private, only this class employee can see it, nobody else. The data type is string, meaning it's textual. The name of the variable is fname. I've got an L name, address, city, state, zip. I've got a double pay rate. Double is a numeric value that allows decimal places. I've got an int hours. That is a numeric value that only has whole numbers, no decimals. I have a method, that's the verb, it does something. I have a method called employee, which is called a constructor. Notice the constructor name and the class name are the same. That's how we can tell it's a constructor. This constructor is expecting 5 items brought in. A first name, a last name, an address, city, state, or city, zip. And then I say this.fname, this is the nickname for the current class, called this. And it says, take this fname, which represents this guy up here, and take this fname, what was passed in, and put into it. So I have 2 variables with the same exact name. Totally legal. I got to know which one I'm using though. This.fname says I'm using the fname instance variable. And I got things called getters and setters. They're public, meaning anybody can utilize them. And basically what it is saying is this makes the data for each of the instance variables available to get or to set from the outside. At the very bottom, I have one more method called calcPay. It's returning a double. That's what the double means right there. Here's return. It returns pay rate times hours. Does the calculation and throws it in the return. Okay. So now in the main, I go ahead and create an employee object. Here's my employee class. Here's my employee object. It's being created or instantiated as a brand new employee object. And again, remember my constructor. The constructor says this method gets executed automatically at instantiation time. The constructor is expecting 5 variables. I must pass in 5 variables. Pass in those 3, those 2. Now, those 5 fields are loaded via the constructor. So now when I say employee.getName, getLName, or say print, get fname, print, get lname, print, get address, so on and so forth, it goes to those methods, gets that data, brings it back, and throws it into the system out print line, which says whatever's inside of these parentheses, throw down here into my console. Then I go ahead and use the setter to put different data in each one of those fields. So I replace fname with now Joe, last name Mama. I put a new address, city, state. This time I went ahead and set hours to 36, and I set the pay rate to 32.75. Then I say print out, get fname, lname, address, city, state, zip, and then I say also print out the calcpay, which automatically just calculates those 2 by multiplying them together. Now, let's go back to the employee class. I can do something called overloading a method. And overloading a method says I can create another method with the same exact name. This stuff inside of the parentheses are what are called the method's signature. So in this case, the public employee, that particular method called employee, that's a constructor method. How do I know that? It has the same exact name as a class. Whenever you have it, the same name as a class, it is another way I can tell It is the only methods I do not have to put in a value, some type of data type after the word public. Every other method has to have a data type. Okay? This says it's returning a string. This says it's returning nothing. This one's returning a string. This guy has nothing at all in there. No void, no data type, no nothing. That's another reason we can tell it's a constructor. So I can do this. I can come down here and say public employee, double quote. I'm going to copy all of this stuff